Good morning, world. This is the Rasta ambassador, Japani, coming at you from the UK. It was my open wish that we would have moved past the Scotch Pot saga, but now that Sizzler have come out and have made a so-called declaration, I am here now to tell the world that Sizzler must not be trusted. The reason why I am saying he must not be trusted is that yesterday I had several conversations with him. And in his conversation, before I play his interview with Kabu, I will literally read out his exchange that we had. After you hear the exchange that we had through text, then I will also play our voice message exchange. Then I will play Kaboo and Sizzler. Then I will give you Bongo Jerry take on everything, and then the world can work it out for themselves. It is my intention, after listening to all the parties involved, that Rastafarian and the movement of the people have finally come to a standstill, in that nobody will be going anywhere anytime soon. And it is my understanding that the younger generation will not listen or take any lesson or direction from the elders. And it's my understanding now that the younger generation is now leaning on their own full standing, which is their right. And I must point out, this approach is what have brought the island of Jamaica to the state that it's now in. Meaning that from the leader, the Prime Minister, Andrew Hollis, he is at a standstill. He do not know if he want to serve America or he want to serve British. So he's at a standstill. But my concern is for the movement of the people. I know that the movement was not going anywhere and will not be going anywhere with people like Sizzler trying to lead it. I will pick up on a few points. I will make Bongo Jerry, who is my senior, respect, Jew, my senior. One of the things that I find out with these young people, they get into their feelings very easily. And once they get in their feelings, they cannot come out of the feelings. I don't know. It's something with these young people. So I think before I play Kaboo, I think I need to show you the kind of mindset that we are working with Sizzler. Because I think this youth is very delusional. Now, while listening to Kaboo yesterday, while listening to Kaboo yesterday, I sent Sizzler a text message. And my message read, I am here listening to your interview with Kaboo. And I must tell you that the Tabernacle is registered in Ivi name. Now, I call Sizzler several times. I actually called him in a group conference call one evening, and he answered the phone, and he said, who is this? Is this the brethren them in England that talking folly about me? I replied to him and said, we are not talking any folly about you. If we were talking folly about you, we would not even be calling you if we think that there was no substance to what you're saying. He put the phone down. Okay, he put the phone down. Yesterday, when I sent him the text message telling him that I'm listening to his interview with Kaboo, he replied, love. Then he said, oh, really? Then he said, love, this is a prisoner. S90, you know what is up? That is why he's fighting me so much. Okay. Sizzler said, well, he will be going to prison. Now, I have to stop and think, is this the movement that I was a part of? Because I don't think so. My concern right now is what Rasta have become. Why every second thing out of a Rasta man's mouth is sending him brother to prison? I can't understand what is happening here now. I can't understand why Rasta pan one hand a beat down Babylon, but pan the other hand ready for lock up him brother and send him brother to prison. I can't understand why Rasta, everything that, and every mishap between Rasta is Babylon them want to solve it. I just can't understand where this school of thought come from and why Rasta cannot work out things for themselves. Here it is, I tell Sizzler that I register the Rastafari movement or Tabernacle in his name. And I would like to talk to him about these things. And the only response him can tell me is good. He's going to prison. Now, Sizzler position as he wrote to me, because I'm coming from my text message now. So whether I want to fool the public, him can't fool I. Him say, I spent my own money to build that for the nation of Rastafari, not Ivy. Now, who did ask Sizzler for spending money to build Tabernacle? Who did ask him for that? This is the kind of thing now where, again, mess up my mind. If you is the good Samaritan, where come into some funds and decide, say, you're going to help out your brother and sister, them and build a tabernacle. Why is it that you're putting so much claim now on something that you did out of the good of your heart as a gift? Tell me, Sizzler, what is the difference between you and the Marley? Because when I say now, this little boy Daniel, for sit down too. Because he's a little Sizzler boy. You come and cabo with Tiffany and you talk something totally different. But we don't realize as some little boys now try one Rastafari movement. Uno not gone nowhere with it. Nobody now follow Uno. Uno are done. Daniel, Sizzler, Ivy, and the whole Uno with the phone little squabbling. Uno are done Rastafari. Uno are done the movement. Uno put it on stall. Because no Rasta. All I want to try to put on yourself in a position through ganja or get legalized. Me hear what Jerry say, no. Jerry say, all I look for is Babylon for say judgment yard is a Rasta yard and it have a right to sell ganja and hang ganja. Same thing. I look for say Scotch Part is a ganja place, a Rasta place, and it have a right. That's all I look for. Everyone I know. Me hear what Jerry say, how many different yard I get certified. If me did that Jamaica, me wouldn't have even go through none of that. My yard would be a ganja yard. Just like that, me wouldn't have to go get the register. Because me a Rasta. The whole government knows say me a Rasta. So me wouldn't have to go expose myself like, oh no. I'm at that fact, I have to well armed to defend myself against honor, because I couldn't come push up on me. Anyway, me there in the West Kingston, I couldn't come go on like, want come push up on me. Because I'm a prisoner friend them now, who that have some right. Because we suffer for it. Me no hear no man will suffer for ganja and go to prison for it. Me no hear another man who cry now say them want no rights. Honor, look for honor, some little baby boys. But let me move on still. For show you what kind of boy Sizzler is. The boy say him spending more money. Nobody never asked to spend the money upon him. Then him say, love, I still wait to see the truth. There is no truth to come out because you not speak no truth, so the truth can't come out. Then him say, thank you. We shall find out the truth on the matter of Ras Ivy registering the Naya being a Tabernacle at Scotch Parts Porous in his name. Something he did not build or having a dollar in its construction. So you see, Sizzler keeper put everything pan fee money and nobody never asked him. Nobody never beg you, Sizzler, for do nothing at Scotch Park. Nobody never, you got to do things out with your altered, we call it ulterior motive. You have a motive. Why you they go do this thing, did all these things, and now it becomes something where you want back your money, you want back this and you hold on and seal. You the little devil. Ras Daniel once said he had vision. Ras Ivy grabbing the seal from the altar and running away with it. So let us watch this. And he need to provide the receipt for the water bill. He said he paid on the radio. We are all watching. Now, show you see them little boy are illusional. All them little boy I get vision. I Jaboni never get no vision in a nothing where I do. So me no know how you go sleep, Daniel, and see the man. That's how pre the man, because when you pre somebody so hard that you can go in your bed, go see the man and you sleep, you know. Yeah, because it's like I fire a haunt you, Daniel, in your sleep, that you are seeing in your sleep. How me forgot my bed, go see I fire in my sleep. Me no see the boy in my sleep, but when I sleep, me no see nothing. Me no get vision. Someone want to know that, so they make a vision talk, then they make a hear that talk, then if I go out and rasta with that. Moving right along. Because I sure say them boy, I quote them boy are smoking, I tell you the truth, I quote them boy are smoke. Now, from the Nyabingi family, we shall find out the truth and the matter of Ras Ivy registering the Nyabingi Tabernacle at Scotch Park in his name. Something he did not build, nor as he put $1 in its construction. Everything is about $1. Ras Daniel once said he had vision. Right now, I can't even read no more of this fuck, because as it stand, I'm on Sizzler end up a tell I, so that he's fighting for the seal and evicting the elders from the land, a land he did not ask for. I try for sure, Kalantri, I am trying to help not to fight against anyone. I am listening to Bongo Jerry and he's accusing you of working for the JLP. I would like to reason with you about taking up politics for Rastafari. Sizzler respond to this by telling I do not trust people. Peace and love and the grace of Emperor be with you. I do not know you. That's what Sizzler said to I replied to Sizzler and I said, you must learn to read between the lines. This is what I did when I was locked away for the 15 years. If you do not trust people, how do you expect to lead us? From there on, this is the exchange that we had now. So listen to the exchange that we had. This way, I am not making up anything.
So you find my number now if you can call me and talk to me, but you never did do that before you go up on the social media. You know, so Ivy register the Tabernacle. You go up on the internet, go talk, ask him now, how the bumbo clot him register Tabernacle in a fit him name and his Miguel Collins Sizzler build the Tabernacle for the world of Rastafari nation. And that you figure up on something, go talk now. Listen back what me say and question back them people they know. A national radio me go up on, not Instagram.
Before I put up my broadcast, Sizzler, before I put up my broadcast, I did try to talk to you more than one occasion. I always have your number. The greatest thing about I, you have never blocked your number from I. I'm always try to call you because, and I like saying I take my side of the thing. If you listen to my last broadcast, I'm trying to show you that you should go into politics as opposed to run around these politicians. You should go into politics so Rasta can vote for you, so you can have the right to do what you want to do for the movement. You can't stay on the side. A different time now we're supposed to join them to really get what we want out of for ourselves. Not for a beg a guy and I run there and no want to talk about give it the right to do this or give it the right to do that. You need to register yourself as a politician and make all Rasta vote for you. That is the last thing me they said to you. Simple. So don't make no one tell you, say, me a this. Why would I want this here? If the story come this way, then I will say, no, that's not right. That's what I'm doing. And I can, right now, a reason for show you is to go find the information when we just give a while. England me there. You think none of this mean anything to me? None of this don't mean nothing to me, you know. I don't tell you where me which part my things sit already. None of this don't mean nothing to me. All me I try for this strike a balance. Me use a word and say amicable. Amicable balance. Amicable. I stand Rastafari. I no stand Bingi and I no stand Bobo or 12 tribe. Rastafari I stand. And that's how me I try to relate to you from a Rasta point of view, not from a Bingi or a Bobo point of view. So that is what is really casting the confusion in a your tribe. Because if you stand predominant, and when you stand predominant, a Rastafari you stand and stand for the right and righteousness. Yes, massive. Hear what I have to say to Sizzler. And what I am saying to Sizzler is what I'm saying to all Rasta. Whether them there Jamaica or them there Africa. Stand predominant, stand for highly high, and not just for yourself, and I try to do things for yourself. And I talk about you do it for Rasta. When are your self-motivative motion and your ego. So now, Sizzler have made himself clear that all him have a personal interest outside of Rastafari in it. And the world can see and the world know that all these youth motive stems from greed, money. In my time, there was nothing to gain from Rastafari than good liberty and the idea that one day I would have go forward to Africa. That's all I did have to really look forward to out of this strata. But today, it becomes now where everybody want to eat a food out of Rastafari, and in the eating of the food, you know, mind trample your brother, because as it look right now, Sizzler come put in him food where him supposed to eat by himself. Him come put it in and build Tabernacle and tell himself now because him did do that for Rastafari. Him own Rastafari, because that's how him a come across now, like him own Rastafari. But I'm going to make you listen now, because you see, everybody have them forum. So most people now, even though they made hear him a blah 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 by him mouth with Kaboo, some people never hear it. Because the people that will listen my forum is not the same people will listen Kaboo forum. So here where him a tell Kaboo. And then you work it out for yourself.
A lot of conflict, a lot of agreements and disagreements before you get to the real science. In a time where the integrity of institutions once considered infallible have been breached, even in the field of science based on observation and experimentation, it finally comes down to data interpretation. This interpretation phase is not impregnable to governing bodies, to sponsors, or to political suasion. The time has come to demand public access of data and the scrutiny of independent and transparent interpretation. So even while we're watching this, and even as we have been mandated to follow the signs through the pandemic, with this fog of confusion, inconsistencies coming from the arbiters of science and their governing bodies such as the CDC, we're seeing that, the WHO, even as the legitimacy of the scientists to demonstrate and defend the science has been co-opted by politicians around the globe. If you notice, it's not so much the scientists who are talking, it's the politicians who have taken the stage, who have been and continue to occupy the messaging space and the narrative in the media, front and center. It tells you immediately that the science has been co-opted. Even as this coup on science has ambushed and all but rooted and ravished the bastions of truth, has damaged and obfuscated house. Ras Michael Record, you know him as, in the house. And later on in the program, Bert Samuels, Pan-African attorney at law and playwright. That's later on this morning in the 8:35 hour or thereabouts. So two things we're going to be focusing on this morning. So we've cleared the schedule to accommodate these two great Jamaicans inside of the program this morning to have the conversation with Sizzler Kalonji. In response, and to carry the conversation to another space still, to the land issue surrounding the land at Scott's Pass. To talk about the Scott's Pass Nyabingi Tabernacle, and to look at August Town and the work that is being done by Sizzler Kalonji and his team in August Town, especially with youth. But we're spending quite a bit of time this morning talking about the situation, which is a controversy, also a contentious issue, around the land at Scott's Pass in Clarendon. And then my brother Bert Samuels will be coming on to speak to us, and we're giving enough time to address this issue, to talk about Jamaica as a sovereign nation or a unitary state, and to say, what does this mean when we are under the boots of those who enslaved our ancestors, when we are under the boots of the monarchy of England, that we dare to call ourselves sovereign. Who's sovereign? And what's sovereign? And what's a unitary state? And I know there's been a lot of focus on the Maroon issue. And while everybody's focusing on whether Maroons are indigenous or sovereign or whatever, I think that that is secondary. I think that that is secondary. And the bottom line is that and I speak through until 10. Thank you so much once again for being part of the program. Lots of conversation, lots of discussions have been going on about the land at Scott's Pass. I want to welcome my brother Sizzler Kalonji to the space. Morning, my brother. Good morning.
Rastafari.
Greetings. How are you doing? You know, someone asked you too good though.
Blessings.
Let me turn off your mic so I can see you better. All right, there we go. All right. Thank you so much because, you know, this is a 6 o'clock show.
Honestly.
And here you are.
Greetings.
Yes.
Thanks again for having me.
Looking fresh like you've been up for about 3.
I've been up since.
There you go.
Yes, thank you.
Right, I know you have Ras Mikey in the studio. Greetings, Ras Mikey.
Yeah, blessed love.
Right. Our listeners will remember Ras Mikey as the person who called in a few weeks ago when I was talking to Stephanie Marley. You were the first person to call in to say, I want to participate in this because I have additional information. So just to put that in context. But Sizzler, you know, you've been here before talking about this very same issue.
With Elise Kelly.
And with me right here, talking about this very same issue.
Okay.
Talking about the Nyabingi, the Scott's Pass Tabernacle.
Certainly.
And here we are having this conversation again. At that time, the many years when you came in to talk about that, there was there was a lot of contention, and persons felt and said at the time that you were part of a process that was dividing the Scott's Pass Nyabingi by taking on the ancients and so on. So at that time, you had come with the ancients, and they said to us that they were with you and that you were the president. I want you to remind us of how you became a part of the Nyabingi, but in particular at Scots Pass. How was your involvement at Scots Pass?
Rastafari. Greetings in the name of the Most High's Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile King Selassie I. Jah Rastafari. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the ways of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight shall be in the Lord the Almighty. Jah Rastafari. Now, I'm honored being here, and once again, morning, beautiful citizen of Jamaica and the whole entire world, Ethiopia, Africa. My journey in the music took me to the realm where I became more conscientious of the fact that black people needed to be liberated. As a youth in Augustown, 40 Augustown Road, doing the chores, duties being left by your parents, been doing all this, the Spirit of the Most High came over me. Hence, I started writing songs. One of my first and popular songs was No White God. From there, the journey took me straight through the cities of Jamaica. Started out in Augustown, ended up in Nannyville with Caveman. After leaving high school, I went straight into the music because I was already there with Fatis and the whole music industry, Dennis Brown, Garnet Sill, President Brown, and the list goes on respectfully. Mm-hmm. During such process, I began getting stage shows, becoming known to the citizens of Jamaica through that very popular song, Oh My God, being aired the first time by Muta Baruka. Now, having all these stage shows going on, I began entering on the White River Reggae Bash, same place here in Ocho-Rios.
Of course.
Being doing stage shows in and out of Kingston. And, became quite popular, known to the people. Earthquake, Ras Earthquake from Malvern, St. Elizabeth, met me at one of the stage show and he was like, Ganga man, Sizzler Rasta man, the Rasta man them a bingy a look for you. Bongo Daniel send me for you. And I said, Bongo Daniel, I've never met Bongo Daniel before. Anyway, I said, all right. Met Earthquake, to and from. It took a while to get there though. I might possibly about a year because I've been busy touring and all those stuff. Okay. Earthquake came to me at final again and say, Bongo man Sizzler, Earthquake in a room. Bongo Daniel, I wait pan the eye. I'm going to say, all right, let's go check Bongo Daniel. Jumped in the Levin. I went to Scots Pass, the first time entering Scots Pass. Met Bongo Daniel. Pretty much exciting. Bongo Daniel say, Sizzler, and a child shall lead the way. Send one mighty angel for his children in exile. E.L. Selassie. Met Bongo Daniel. There and then, it's Sizzler. It's Bongo Daniel. So Daniel main calling for Sizzler was to help Daniel to develop the land being given to the Rastafari family worldwide for repatriation. But upon entering the premises, Scots Pass, the headquarters and Rastafari and Nyabingi theocracy, the family, well unified, loving, beautiful, ceaseless eyes, the tabernacle was intact. The first thing Daniel had showed me on the premises was the bathroom that he dug. And he said, Sizzler, you see this drop straight bathroom? We can't have the Empress and the royal family of Selassie using this. We will need to upgrade the place.
This is Scots Pass we're talking about.
This is Scots Pass. My duty in going to Scots Pass was to meet Bongo Daniel. I didn't know what it was about, but I knew it was something for redemption because that could have only be the call. Now, Daniel said, we need to start developing the premises. And I said, yes. So I said to Daniel, who own the land? Daniel said, a Bob Marley land. A Rita Marley own the land. So I said, how you get the land? Daniel said, they had a Nyabingi at Rocky Point. And upon leaving the Nyabingi, he saw Mrs. Marley. And along with Daniel, he said it was Daniel, Dago, daughter Dunan, Mabrak, and others, because from me coming from the Nyabingi, that's where the family is at. And he said, Bob Marley have some land up there, so you know, you can't give it peace. And Rita Marley said, yeah, go and deal with it and reason up with me. The family can attest to this. They know very well what took place. So I said, okay. So I said, where's the title? He said, Mama Rita, I go deal with it. Within myself, no one knew very well that for you to be developing somewhere, you need a title and full authorization. But known to the fact that it has already been published through the media, being given by Mrs. Marley, and the center post for the Tabernacle was also being laid with His Majesty's grandson. This is really just and truth, and it's been published. No one contested such. So there and then we started doing our Rastaman vibration, chanting, reading the Psalms, meeting the elders, and the whole family at large. And the fire blaze, cause them a burn fire upon that, cause them a say the reggae music has stray the people, them, even though it's nice, and it's a child of the Nyabingi. The artists need to be coming to the Nyabingi Center so they can know what is happening for them best to express their sense.
So bonfire upon you?
Bingy man, bonfire upon Sizzler. Anybody go there with bonfire upon them, just verbally, you know?
Yes.
To
and we know the
get
same
yourself
thing was
straight.
done
It's
with
nothing
Nana Rita
disrespectful.
too, yes.
All right, exactly, because that's your foundation.
Right.
So persons keeping the duty of His Majesty need to know where you sit within the coach of Rastafari, administrating for the nation. So that's it. So there and then, the Nyabingi service been going on when you have the celebrations such as Coronation Day, Black History, African Liberation Day, such for the likes. The service is ceaseless. Now, not to waste the nation's time, we've been there. Everything is being accounted for by the family, but you still have a little misadministration. I began knowing about the misadministration by going to the Nyabingi Center.
All right, we're going to pick up on the misadministration after the break. And then when you say the land issue and the Nyabingi Tabernacle at Scott's Pass, you might have heard when we were having that conversation with Stephanie Marley, that she talked about a third element in the situation that was developing at Scott's Pass. And that third element, Sizzler, your name was not mentioned, but we were very well aware that you would have been that element that was being referenced there. Now, you say, at this point, you noticed that there was an administration issue.
Yes.
At Scott's Pass.
Yes.
After how long, would you say?
Ever since being there, the misadministration of the Nyabingi house is even before Sizzler enter the premises, before meeting anyone of the family on the premises. I've met the family out elsewhere, but on the grounds for the Nyabingi is totally different.
Who is Bongo Daniel, before you tell us about the misadministration?
Bongo Daniel is Mr. Vincent Rickard.
Right.
Bongo Daniel is the person sent to get Sizzler and started Sizzler with the development of Scott's Pass. Bongo Daniel's words started the construction for Scott's Pass with Sizzler.
So we're talking about an ancient Bongo,
the ancient,
so people understand who is
person who had asked Rita Marley for the land. Now, the misadministration was even before Sizzler entering the Bingi premises. I've learned these misconduct and misadministration through the minutes. You want to follow the Nyabingi, you don't just go out on the road and listen people saying this and saying that. Yes, listen, but when you follow the minutes, that's for the record of the family. So you have misadministration with the Treasury, misadministration with the elective record, and the list goes on. How
did you come to see the minutes to get all of this information?
Based on the principle of the Nyabingi, you have general meeting every first and third Sunday. So Sizzler would do his stage show, go on tour, do everything, and get back for the first and third Sundays for meetings.
So by this time, I know that you're going to get to the misadministration, but just for clarity.
Yes.
So by this time, you would have, on the call of Bongo Daniel, you would have now become a member of the Nyabingi family.
No.
Yes, world. I just want to make a little interjection there. If you listen and following what Sizzler is saying, Sizzler, somebody send come call him, yeah, to come and Nyabingi. When him, everybody know is a Bobo youth. Tell me now, how can a man just walk in an organization and demands to see the minutes of the organization? If you can listen to what I'm saying now, him is not a member of the Nyabingi. Him is nothing to the Nyabingi. So you want to tell me saying just walk in a Nyabingi business and just demand for say, well, am a police? Am a tax revenue inspector? So when I try for sure now say, this whole issue not coming to nothing because all they do is tell self-serving lie, and the lies them is just up in our face. Because you can't just walk in an organization and demands. No care how dumb people is. When you want to look for our record for. You's a bubble man, you come as a visitor. How comes you end up in our office a dig through with thing? So none of this whether I talk no make sense, but I'm gonna play it so you, the public, can actually be the judge of that. Because maybe me too bright.
And be a part of the Nyabingi family. For you to be a part of the Nyabingi family, you're already being born as a black man or a black woman. You're already a part. But knowing the principles and keeping the principles and the precept of the Nyabingi house, that's the where I would say you would have been a part of the family. Because a foundation for the Most High to stand upright needed to start on spiritual grounds, conscious spiritual grounds. So as we go ahead, you can't be doing something for the Most High and you don't know what you're doing. So I started following the minutes to know where they are, where I'm at. Sizzler just came in the world 1976. So I need to read a lot and catch up, which is Majesty's duty. So there and then. So I began understanding the whole entire procession of the Nyabingi and the family and the way forward for repatriation. So I said, okay, now I understand the chant, the Cree, and see that it's connected. And based upon my journey in the music, singing for black people for repatriation, I said, okay, I understand very well what's happening. So I need to do all these things to make the family comfortable so that can best administrate for repatriation concerning Rastafari government, Nyabingi theocracy, and all the mansions and the Jamaica government. Now, being there, in and out, little bickering, but Rastafari still says love, no violence, it's non-violent. So there was the storm. Ivan came. The tabernacle was intact, but it was still with a little, it's going with the nature of erosion. So there came the storm. Ivan blew down the tabernacle. Service was still going on, but because of the destruction of the tabernacle, we bought a tarpaulin, covered the tabernacle roof. Again, it's been exposed to the nature, the natural elements. So now it's there going down, deteriorating until there was nothing left except the center post. And persons stopped coming to the tabernacle grounds. Then they've neglected the tabernacle grounds for years and call it crash pass. No one comes to the foundation except really concerned persons from the family and persons knowing that this was the headquarters. So
Ivan was in 2004, and you're saying...
For the record, yeah.
Right, and so after that, you're saying that the people stopped coming to the tabernacle, even though...
It was raised to the ground. Persons began going to Pitford, Pinnacle, and anywhere else, Rastafari families worldwide. So then I said... After years, no one coming there, the family began giving a complaint that this is headquarters, this is central. We can't just come from Kingston and reach here, come from Westmoreland and reach here. So we need to get it up. So I said, okay, I called Bongo Daniel's attention to it again and say, the promise I gave you to develop the foundation for His Majesty and the family, I'll now start seeing to the fact that no one is coming here. especially administrators, they've neglected this ground and this is the headquarters. So I said, all right. I start going on tour, start doing stuff. I call Bongo Mikey. And I said,
Rastafari.
This Mikey.
this is Michael Record. Bongo
Mikey.
So, yeah.
Greetings
So I
again,
said,
my
Bingy
brother.
Mikey.
Right.
Yeah, man.
And then at the same time, too, as an aside, you are the son of
Bongo Daniel.
Bongo Daniel, the same Bongo Daniel you're talking
Yes.
about. Yes.
One
yes.
Bongo Daniel.
Yes.
So I said, Bingy Mikey. Daniel say, we're ready to fix the tabernacle now and me have a little money now, you know? All right. So I said, what we're going to do, we have to call a meeting. So Bongo Daniel and the elders, they got together and they made the decision, say, yes, we're going to touch the tabernacle now. Because spiritually, I knew very well not to touch the tabernacle unless the family is there, because this is for the family. You want to build a tabernacle with the center post and the 12 outer posts, with the 6-point star in the center for the 7 high priests to be around it based upon revelation and all those stuff. So I said, all right, we're going to start building tabernacle, Mikey.
Yeah.
We say we need to get some more money. Mikey and Sizzler and Daniel, we are meditating, and I say, oh, we are get money. We say, all right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to keep a stage show, because the nation uses a very well the stage show, and the stage show is the legal entity to bring the finance. I myself and Bingy Mikey meditated, and I said, Bingy Mikey, go and get the permission to keep the stage show. No one knew about this part now except for Daniel, Mikey, and Sizzler. Anyone else, they'll know for the record. So Bingy Mikey went up to Porus, and he went and he got in touch with the inspector, and he laid the report from the foundation that we would like to keep a show. Sizzler would like to keep a show for the benefit of constructing the tabernacle based on the destruction from the storm. The inspector gave us the permission, and we hurriedly and got the venue across, just a little bit down from the station, which is the school ground.
School ground, yeah.
That is in Clarendon,
That is in Porus, yeah.
Porus.
So then now,
in Manchester.
the school ground, a very beautiful play field, and the concerned citizens and persons in custody of the premises say, we have to be careful, but this is where the community, they use it for the sporting. So we don't want to destroy the grass. So we say, okay, we'll bring the stuff around.
Around, yeah.
But the persons can stand on the grass, but not the truck and the stage. And we did it very well. We kept the stage show with the authority of the inspector. And them say, tell the inspector, say, Bongo Daniel, black boy Daniel.
Yeah.
And everybody knew Daniel. And we say, all right. And the inspector knew Daniel very well. We went ahead.
Inspector Cespedes for the record.
For the record. So we went ahead. We kept the stage show. We grew with the sum of $200,000. And
At them time, then.
yeah, that was like enough money.
Enough money that I wanted.
We said, no, all right, Mikey, we got $200,000. It was well supported by the officers, by the community, in Scotts Pass, Porus, young kids, everyone supported it. And we got $200,000. I said, we're going to buy 12 light posts. I bought 12 light posts, and I left them on the premises of the Naibingi Center, Scotch Pass. I went on tour. When I got back, it was only one light post left.
Some of them really ratting out on them things, because them never really, you know.
But, so we said, all right, Bongo Daniel, they stole some. That's the main thing. You shouldn't have taken anything. Yeah.
And obviously you don't know who stole.
No.
But some was stolen.
Yeah. So I said, okay, Bongo Daniel, what's happening now? I left the light post and I went on tour. Despite I went on tour, the light post couldn't have been rotten by the time I got back. So I said, all right, Bongo Daniel said, put it in a concrete, then can't move it. Right. So that is how I ended up doing all that construction. This was way before going to Bobo Hill. No Bobo Shanty, Upper Bobo Hill, no Sizzler. So we started the construction.
You're talking about 2004, 2005, right? Yes or no?
Yeah, going.
Have to go to school. We understand things, and some people have to go for. You have to be a Rastafari if you understand them, and some people have to be a Rastafari if you understand them. So it's great when different people come explain different things and you get a full picture. It was very great, and anybody want to have a discussion about the enlightenment that we enjoy on different programs, not only this station alone, not only this program alone. Let us have that discussion and see how much the understanding grow. The understanding between the African people and even the Maroon is growing.
You understand? Between the Gaviite and the Rastafari is growing, and all of the bad feeling and some misinterpretation. Some of them is being broken down. Where I understand things more and more. It's beautiful. I want to tell you, say, it's about 4 different set of Rastafari labor right in a contention. Cause most time, you know, Rasta in the early days, more Rasta did gravitate to have a better feeling about PNP than JLP, you know, because PNP more down to earth. The JLP go on like them down to earth, you know, true Buster man is a man talk down to earth and rub shoulder with the people, but it was a hypocritical thing, it was a con game. The JLP was really for the money people, but them have a front where them act, just like when you say, wellness, act with and I go on like him a cry. Buster man act like him was for the people, but the PNP was more down to earth as socialists. And you used to have more Rastaman gravitate toward the PNP. In a latter day, I say, whole heap of different Rastaman and woman now. A labor right, I see them a link with. Some are Mike Henry labor right. Some are Harris Chang labor right. Some are Babsy Grange labor right. Some are Wholeness labor right. Some are Faval Williams labor right. Let's get back to the phone. Look more we can talk about that or some more. But the understanding is growing greatly. Good.
Yes, massive. Yes, world. Just want to stop right there and make a point again clearly about my involvement in Rastafari. From the beginning of my chronicle, I told you that I'm from Bakawal. I told you that from this movement, from Bakawal days, we were always involved with the politicians them. I told you all that Zaki the high priest is who give the okay, the Phoenix gang of Rastafari is who give the okay for Edward Siago to lick down Bakawal. Did tell you that. Did tell you that my fire my gun for PMP and Labour right. Did tell you that. From I was a little boy. Did tell you that. Did tell you that. Here Jerry Small just now confirm and telling you that from the inception we were always leaning to the right and leaning to the left. Depends on which politician coming after us. What we think can make we go forward. So my point is being collaborate now. Because I'm telling you from day one, say this thing, politics and Rasta was always connected. Now, this young generation now, them take up on the thing without studying the thing fully, and they know who now burn fire upon politics, them burn out the whole of politics. So now, Rasta now no have no political strength. I'm telling you, so when I go to South Africa, I join the PAC military wing, which was also a political organization, which I join at this, so I get my power from. Now, here what we do now. Sizzler has collaborated with by my good brethren and my elder, Jerry Small, because Jerry Small is my elder. Jerry is now telling us that Rastafari is breaking up in 4 different elements, all JLP sanction, fighting for the right of ganja yard. Sizzler yard is a ganja yard endorsed by Andrew Onis. Sizzler for just hold that and just, since you want the right for go ganja in your yard, you get that right already. What more you want from Rasta? Leave Rasta business alone, Sizzler. You need to leave it alone now. Because you get where you want. What more you want, you can't control Rasta. Because you not lead you going away. You're too dumb to lead us going away. Lead the little flock. You little yes people and yes man and yes boys and yes girls that you have rally around you. Certain Rasta man no need nothing from you. You for overstand that. I Jaboni no need nothing from you. So when me want to talk to you, me want to talk to you about Rasta business. And a friend me I look little boy. I mean I look nothing from you. You can't give me no food. You can't give nobody for me no food. My people them not hungry down there. Nah, look nothing from the Rasta. Me are the hungry one and used to stand up. My people them even shun me, chew me, come live and trod this way. So, what you for know now, humble yourself. You have the right to deal with ganja up at your yard. And if you just deal with that, give back the people them seal and go deal with the ganja business, because look, soon you're going to fall upon your own, you're going to fall upon your own, because nothing where you do no sanction, a bully away in the thing. So, make we go forward and hear again where you have to say, because the way you have to say, I got trample you. And the way me I say.
It's a pit, and Daniel said that pit had been dug for about 20 years. Well, me and Mikey, we do dub plate and stage show, and we bought some train lines and some stuff, and we covered the pit. I began the construction of the bathroom, 2 bathrooms for the lioness and the lions, and no perfect bathroom. I started the construction of the office. Mr. Rose helped me. He was the architect, and Mr. Rose was the teacher for Sizzler at ACRM doing the architectural studies. So I said, the best person to do this is Mr. Rose. So Mr. Rose now started getting his other friends in the industry of the construction, and we ended up constructed the Tabernacle. We ended up buying all the irons. We ended up buying the roof, and Mr. Rose get the persons to do the roof, and they had Bud Spencer and Michael Record can give you the record for all those.
Actually work.
Yeah. So there and then the works continue. I've been doing all this before even they called Sizzler the treasurer. Before everything, I've been doing this without any title, anything, because it was a promise to Daniel and His Majesty.
Rasta family. Yeah.
So the interests of being someone in the office administrating wasn't on my count or call. My duty was solely to build the Tabernacle ground.
And then to underscore, because you pointed out that by this time the Tabernacle, the area was more or less abandoned. That people had left.
When I say abandoned, I mean animals began defecating on the ground beneath the roof, because it's, to that level for years. Yes.
All right. So the daughters' quarters, the bathrooms, all of that building under the...
No, the lioness quarters and the daughters' quarters and the kitchen, they were already there. Yeah. Right.
All right. So you built...
the Tabernacle, the bathroom, the office, put up the gate and stuff, and we began taking care of the land.
At what point did you move from being called by Ras Daniel, doing the work after it was abandoned, to now being, as the ancients who came in with you a few years ago, the president?
That was after keeping the banquet, helping the elders. Every celebration, Sizzler would provide finance to get the fire timber, to get the food, to fulfill the prescriptions for the elders, taking them to the doctor, the priest, just about anyone in the Bingy family.
No.
Okay, church is a building still.
No, that's the mistake. Church are not building. Church is the people them we gather together.
Okay.
And they have religion our.
Like your beliefs, like.
Not if you believe. Belief is good, but religion is the things them we have practice to do together.
Right. Yeah.
But the gathering together is more important than the religion.
Right.
Or the gathering together make you remind us that we is all connected.
Right. Because I'm not calling up for my government, Jerry. You know, it's me think to myself that everybody will believe in God and still have to be opportunistic, you know. Everybody will believe in our? In religion, them believe in a God and Jesus and Selassie, because you have 100 children there, see?
Yeah.
Out of them loving themselves or loving you, which way would I rather?
Well, I find say love go in every direction. So I now
Right.
choose between them loving themselves and loving me. I find say love go in every direction. You know what the word love mean?
Well, no, you don't have to explain to me, brother Jerry.
It's a very simple meaning. The word love means care.
Care, right,
That's what
right,
love
right,
means,
right.
Care. So care
Right.
go in every direction.
Yeah, that go for sure say people that them believe in God, them not really care.
I wouldn't say them don't care. I wouldn't say them don't care. I would have to see somebody behavior. I can't stay one place and just know somebody behavior by what them name. I have to see them
The
behavior.
reason why I say that, brother Jerry, if me and you was God, people will respect we, because when we have money, people look up to it more. Remember, so we poor and live in a poor community, We ain't have the money, we don't have the girl. You know, nobody, nobody know with you.
No, I could never say we don't have nobody with you. Because I know a lot of people care for other people whether they have money or not.
Yes,
so let's put talk next time, because we have to go leg of the phone line.
Man has a respect, brother.
Yeah, man, call me and we'll reason regular, man. Thank you.
Yeah, my boss.
I want to play next piece of music. So great amongst our people that one day makes so much of a difference. For instance, yesterday I listened to one of my sister's radio program, me and Kabu, on the next station, and she have two guests there. And the two guests are three guests that she have there. She and them reason out, and when we listen to the reason, people understanding growing so much in a one day reason and one day listening make understanding grow so much. I go and play this piece of music to Kabu program yesterday. Name What a Difference a Day Make. Use some of the Spanish servant African overthrow the Spanish and then reward those African with a free village. Say give them each 30-acre land. Hundreds of them are fight together, Them call one the bowler, so then leader, one Spanish African. And there were hundreds of them together. Each one get 30-acre land and keep the land together and call it a village. And the British give them freedom, said them no under no slavery. And within a very short period of time, the British go back against them word and take with them land from them. So that first betrayal go on immediately as the British come here, and them continue that betrayal right through as a characteristic of Britain. Betrayal.
And that kind of I want civilized thinking people them nowadays say them things that still are going right now, just more modernized.
Yes, because the JLP and the PNP make a deal with the British, and the British use them and trick them, but them still use them for go against us. The JLP and the PNP get a job from Britain and America to go against the population, and that is what they are doing. Most of the people in the PNP don't even know so that is what them is doing. Most of the people in the JLP don't even know about them things, but they will do it.
And some know and don't care.
Some know, and them just keep the others in the dark because them have them as them workers.
Yeah. Yeah, some more people like you said, people take time I want to speak to Jericho, them are listening, come here and tell you, people are listening to you, people are calling, but when we go there, people are listening, my brother, trust me, my brother, and people, I respect all people are get wise, People see the thing, cause it's not as difficult as you want to make it out to be.
Yes.
Treachery been going on for a long time and still are going on. And the key thing to keep us in poverty by taking away the land. People realize it. People is realizing.
Yes.
My brother.
And they're still taking it away more and more. And the Prime Minister and the government is the chief agent of taking away the land from the people. The Prime Minister and the government. Chief agent of taking away land from the people and tricking them, because all this Noranda thing is a typical trick and betrayal. And the Prime Minister is getting in more and more trouble because people, the different African people, starting to make an effort to understand one another and understand how they're being used against one another.
That's right. One more thing with me, I agree with Carbo upon yesterday. I agree with Carbo. Say. The Maroons.
Jamaican people. The African people are understanding more and more, and the Maroon, just as you say, whoever call themselves Maroon, need the rest of the African people, and we, the African people, also need each other, including the good-minded ones among the Maroon. We all need one another, and we are all getting to understand one another better and better, and that's why wholeness is in trouble, and the PNP is in trouble. The more we get to understand one another, the more we get to find out that them, the JLP and the PNP is two set of Maroon Kojo. The two of them is the same Maroon Kojo, and them is a betrayal against us. What they're trying to keep up this year, 60 years ago. Listen to me, please, sir. Please, sir. Ready to finish, sorry. What they're trying to portray this year as 60 years of independence is a fraud. They are ridiculing the 284 years of trickery where the man won't get tricked. Meanwhile, they are projecting themselves as 60 years of genuine independence. They are as much a fraud as the treaty with the Maroons was a fraud. And the more our Africans get to understand more one another, is the more the billionaires of the PNP and the wicked men of the JLP will not be able to go on control Jamaica. Our people are getting together because we do need one another to get rid of the fraud of the JLP and the PNP. Yeah, man, the numbers are 6191508. 6191. But Rita Marley eventually said to herself, Sizzler is spending a lot of money down there and developing the place. He's the best person to hand over the titles with, because he's not going to run off with the land. So you see, the rich always have more confidence in other rich people more than in people who have nothing. So therefore, that's how she come in agreement with Sizzler, because she's successful as a singer, have enough money. Him successful as a singer, have enough money. And she knows that she can trust him more than how she can trust somebody else. Somebody else put them. Let's get back to the telephone. But we still don't hear more.
She said to me now, I would like to cut off the Bingi land. And I said, okay, cut it off in the name of the church. Now you bring it to